What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Against All Odds podcast. Today, Mimi looks like a nice little Barbie.
I thought you were going to say Pepto-Bismol.
You do kind of look like Pepto-Bismol.
Thank you.
Is it Bismol or Bismo?
Bismol.
Okay.
Pepto-Bismol.
Roll intro. Okay, so we are back in California now. We talked about this in the premium podcast, so we won't go into a lot of the details because that was for our premium members. But anyway, we're back in California now, and I have such like a soft spot in my heart and everything for California. I love the beach, the blue skies, the warm weather. It's summer. It's just a very nice like vibe going on.
I don't think it's summer anymore.
It's still August.
I know, but I think it's... I remember someone posting something on Instagram and they said in honor of like the last day of summer or something.
Maybe that's for kids going back to school.
I
think that
I'm
I'm pretty sure that summer ends in September or so. Mimi's looking up on her phone. Just Google it.
Okay.
But anyway, so we're back in California. And I've done all like the essentials. The only thing I haven't done is got In-N-Out, but I will get that soon. I've been trying to eat pretty healthy for the most part. I've gotten Chipotle twice, which was amazing. Maybe just Googled it and realized
September
that
22nd. Then someone lied on their Instagram because it said that.
It's so crazy that someone wouldn't be telling the truth on Instagram.
Right?
But anyway, it's just been like really great. We've had Chipotle. We've been driving on the right side of the road now. How's that? Yeah, you never drove in New Zealand. So
Yeah, I did.
When?
That one time.
Oh, one time. Like 10 feet.
I drove around all of Ireland, though, on the left side.
Yeah, but like, I'm not saying you wouldn't have any...
You talking like the switch?
Yeah.
Well, there's still like, you still have to go through a switch though in your head, even when you're the passenger though. Because when I came back, even when other people were driving me, I was like, what?
Yeah, for me, like even when Mimi's driving or I'm driving or whatever, I'm like, oh, like I have to make a very mental note of like which side of the road is it. It confuses me still, like making left turns. I just don't even know now. I've been switched so often now or so much that I'm like, it doesn't even... I don't even have a preferred side.
That's why I'm driving.
Yeah. Even like walking up the stairs.
That's okay, because back in Portland, you don't have a car anymore anyways. So.
Yeah. But even like walking up the stairs too.
Yeah,
like,
that always gets
I'll
me.
like go over to the left-hand side of the staircase and I'm like, oh no, go back over to the right side.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always in someone's way no matter where I'm walking now. And the only other big thing that's happened that where I'm like, oh my God, a kiwi is when we were unloading the dishwasher loading it up, and I was like, Mimi, can you stack the dishwasher and I'll do it. I'll clean the dishes, you stack it. And you're like, stack it? I'm like, oh, I mean load the dishwasher.
I was like, okay, kiwi.
Yeah, you made fun of me, but because in New Zealand it's stacking and unstacking, and here it's loading and unloading. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was like, it was a fully unintentional thing that just came out. In my mind, I really thought I was just speaking normally. And all of a sudden, I said stacking and unstacking. So that was kind of cool. But other than that, it's been like a really like seamless re-entry into the U.S. And I mean, it's always nice to be home. Have you had any situations like that? I mean, you were only over there for like a month and a half. Mm-hmm. But still, that's enough time to have kind of like those things.
No, honestly, haven't even noticed anything.
Nothing?
I have like gotten to pay... And I started, like, kind of freaking out in my head, like, thinking, like, because I was looking for, like, bills and stuff. Mm-hmm. And, like you said, too, with prices, like, in New Zealand, we would, like, have, like, it was, like, about 3/4.
Yeah.
We kind of did in our head, like, mentally. And I'm still kind of doing that. And I keep forgetting about taxes, too, because I went shopping today for my friend's birthday. And I saw a price. I was like, oh, cool. Like, all I need is $10 because it's on sale. And then I go up to the register, and then, of course, like, there's tax on it.
Yeah, the taxes added on are so dumb.
I know, because in other countries, like, the price is advertised is the price.
If it's 99 cents, you can pay with
Except
$1.
if you're in Fiji, there's, like, 10 different taxes
Fiji was
on
different.
it.
But, yeah, I think the other thing for me, too, that has been, like, a little culture shock even coming back is I went 6 months or 5 months without with any data on my phone, and I couldn't make calls and I couldn't send text messages. Mm-hmm. I could only send iMessages, and I could only use my phone with Wi-Fi. So still, like in the last 3 or 4 days being in California, we've been walking around and I like panic when I need to send a text or call somebody, and because I can't. But then I'm like, wait, I can. And like it's been so nice to be able to use my phone
I know, you're
data
excited.
now, like anywhere around. And I think like the funniest thing was like I signed up for something and it said, okay, here we'll send you a text confirmation. And I'm like, no, because I couldn't do that in New Zealand, you know? I would say like, I can't receive text messages. I have to put in an email. And then so I was like, no. I freaked out like, crap, I can't receive text. And all of a sudden, a second later, the text goes bing. I'm like, it works. So that was something I like took for granted being back in America. But yeah, so that's like, we're just back here. We're here for a few more days and then going up to Portland. I'll explain the plan. There really isn't a plan because it's been, when you're in off season right now and I'm trying to like train with some teams, it's just kind of like wait and see. So I'm in limbo right now. I'm really not technically in off season yet, I would consider it. I'm still trying to train with a team somewhere. I'll talk about that. I talked about that in the premium podcast and I'll talk about that for sure in vlogs to come. I just feel like I'm talking about it so much now.
Yeah, I think you've already explained it a few times.
And you feel like you're in limbo right now, like not being able to do, like settle down or do anything.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird because like you don't even know if you should unpack your suitcase. And I don't know like when I'm going to Portland or if I'm going to Portland. So then I don't want to get too comfortable. I don't know. I just feel like until we get an apartment in San Diego after you do these like team things, I feel like I'm not going to feel like...
Yeah.
Just figured out.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well,
whatever.
Yeah, but whatever. That's just the life.
That's life.
So that was like the update portion of the video. But now I've been reading this book called Tribe of Mentors by Tim Ferriss. I'm about 10 pages in because I'm a slow reader when it comes to this kind of stuff.
He falls asleep.
I fall asleep a lot. But he basically interviewed these mentors, like 140 mentors, and
they're all like successful CEOs and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Right? And actors.
And he gave them like these 11 questions. And a lot of the questions probably didn't apply to us because they were like, you know, whatever. But I picked out 3 questions to ask you. And I want to ask you these just to see what your response is. Hopefully it doesn't take 5 minutes for you to think of an answer.
I'll answer quick.
That's okay. You can take your time. I can always edit this up.
Lay it on me.
All right. So first question is, what purchase of less than $100 has most positively impacted your life in the last 6 months or in recent memory?
Last 6 months.
Yeah. This is a hard one.
This is a hard one. You're going to have to edit out some thinking time.
Because this is like a one that you really have to think over.
Are you going to answer them too?
Yeah, I'll answer it as well. I mean, I haven't thought about it. I'll have to think about it right now too. I'll go first, if I can.
Okay.
I would say that the number one thing that's positively impacted my life for less than $100 is paying people to like, even paying you, paying Tyler, paying Luca to film my games, to work for me as like employees, to be in my videos, to help me out with stuff. Because before, when I was poor and had zero money at all, I couldn't spend that money, and I didn't feel comfortable spending money, $50, $100 for a video when I wasn't making that much money for the videos. But now, like, since the videos were getting more and more help, I'm starting to get sponsorships, and everything's going better. I've been spending it to like almost delegate work for others, for like to film my games, to film my training sessions and do a lot of extra stuff for me. I had like people kind of like Olivier come into a video and he just literally was my passer for the entire video. Paying people and doing stuff to like almost grow a business.
That's a good one.
Is like investing in myself a little bit. And 100% that has made so much of a difference. I can focus less on the camera and focus more on the training.
Actually get a good training session.
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't like...
That's good.
Yeah, and it wasn't like it really moving the tripod took away from my training session. It just made my training sessions be about 2.5 hours versus now an hour to an hour and a half. And because all I do, I'm like, yeah, you just move around the camera. I'm just going to train, you film, and it's boom. I get it over an hour and 30 and it's a great training session. And so that for sure.
Can I do like multiple purchases that are under 100? Could add up.
Yeah, sure.
One huge one for me, which is gonna sound kind of stupid, but is buying home magazines. Because I spend, some of them are pretty expensive, like $12, but normally they're just like $7. And I get one magazine and I just go through every single page and I look at every single caption and I research every single company that I see there. And that just provides me with a lot of content. So I think that's been worth the money completely. I think another one is going to sound really weird, but it's my sunglasses. So I'm trying to protect my eyes, and I never wore sunglasses before, and now I'm trying to, and I feel like I'm like living in a whole new world. So that's another one under 100. Yeah, and then I feel like there's probably something else.
Yeah.
But right off the bat, that's what comes to my mind.
I want to brag about Mimi for a second. She has been posting, like, you know, if she has her Mimi Estelle Instagram, and you post all your design stuff that you get from all of these home goods, you know, thing that you find in magazines. Mm-hmm. And what would you say, like every 10th one, that company responds and comments and says,
now
like,
I think it's even less. I think it's probably 1 in every 4.
And so I don't want to speak for you, but a big thing that you know, and bigger YouTubers or Instagram people or social media influencers or whatever, it starts off where it's like you're not even noticed. You know, you tag all these people, you tag stuff, no one notices you, you get no attention, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden you start getting what you're doing right now, little comments, likes, and it's exciting. Like, oh my God, the company that I, you know, showcased here with 160,000 followers just liked and commented on my photo. And then it's going to build up and build up, and as you build more of a following, more credibility, and keep growing everything, it's going to turn into collaborations, and it's going to turn into full-on sponsorship deals where companies will literally reach out to you. Mimi, can you do a company showcase on our spotlight, on our product, on our furniture line, and you know, here's $10,000 for the promo. We'll even send you the furniture.
That's the plan.
And that's yeah.
Yeah, I've been finding like cool companies and just making like collages of my favorite things from their lines or from their companies, what they offer. And like they don't pay me to do it. They don't ask me to, but I'm just doing it and I'm tagging these companies and I'm trying to do it so much and just try to branch out and tag as many companies as I can and even like just mention them in the captions or whatever. And it's cool though, like either a lot of them will comment, you know, like love this or heart or like thank you for making this. But even when I just see a like even when they just like it, I'm like, oh my God.
And like it sounds almost, you know, I bet there's people out there thinking right now listening to this, like, why would you do that for free right now? People are going to be like, why would you do that for free and give them the spotlight versus charging them? But that's not the right mentality to have, I believe. Yeah. It's you have to give out so much content and value and show people like what you can do, you know, and to do this and to grow and to give out your best work. It's like on YouTube, I always give out my absolute best drills.
Free.
I give free workout programs. I give. And then it's like, if you really want more, you know, grab their attention, get noticed, then I have stuff that you can buy that is like fully, you know, packaged and I spent hundreds and hundreds of hours on. And still, I'm selling it for $5 to $50, and that's like hundreds and hundreds of hours of work. And so, I'm not saying that my work or my time isn't worth that. And the same with you. I think that even now you could get 1 or 2 companies to really pay you for this. But I think it's so much about value, growing, and thinking of the longer term picture.
Yeah.
You know.
And can I talk about the email that I got from that one guy?
Yeah.
I got an email from this company. It's a furniture company in England. And he emailed me and sent me a couple pictures of their stuff, of their furniture. And he just said, hey, like I saw your Instagram. I like what you're doing, your account. If you want to mention us, that would be really cool. Like, here's a link to our website. And he wasn't offering, you know, to pay me or anything. But this was the first company that reached out about being, I guess, promoted on my page. That wasn't just like some random, you know, sponsorship, because I had the Greetable thing. But this was the first like actual furniture company that looked at my page and was like, hey, if we get on there.
Have you done that yet?
I emailed him back, yeah.
Oh, okay. And then you're going to do it for free.
Yeah,
as well.
So I looked at the stuff on the website and I really liked it. So I said, I like replied to him and I was like, yeah, like I'd love to feature your products on my page. Like, and I showed him the thing I made for it and I'm going to post it in a couple days.
And I think it's so important too, at the beginning stages, is to not get overzealous and be like, just because a company reaches out to you, or even if they give you money, but you're not in love with the product, to do that, even if they're like, hey, we'll give you $200 for it, like, if it doesn't fit into your aesthetic, then other companies will be like, no, I don't know if I want to do that.
Exactly. That's why the first thing I did was I clicked on his website and I looked at the products that he tagged or that he attached to the email too. And I was like, this is kind of cool. Yeah. Like, I like this.
Because I get so many emails of companies, sports betting stuff, stupid mobile apps, like for games and stuff that I just like I don't like it. Like it's something that I don't want to be promoting.
And what's different though is that your whole platform isn't about promoting other companies.
Yeah.
Mine, I'm trying to make that like be one of
the business
because I almost want like my page to be like a magazine kind of.
Yeah.
So when you open it up, you're getting ideas, you're getting inspiration, you're finding out about different companies, different lines, like, you know, what's in style, trending, like everything. It's not about like me so much right now. It's more about showing just what there is, because I think as a creative person, you always need these like outlets where you just learn and get inspiration and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. That's cool. So bring it back. Basically both the things that impacted our lives the most for less than $100 were the magazines for you, and the same thing, the delegating and putting out work.
Yeah.
To all go back into their investments into.
Yeah, yourself. And I see it like some people would think like if they went to a bookstore and bought magazines that would just be like for leisure, you know. But I look at it as like an investment into my company.
Everything is an investment.
I call it like research. I'm like, I need to go research.
It's the same exact thing when I watch YouTube videos. It's like, I'm not gonna lie, I do enjoy watching YouTube videos for pleasure, but like I'm watching every transition. Like I was watching a Jeff Nippard, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Jeff video where he's a very weightlifting guy that talks about the science behind stuff, and even it's like he almost has like Myth Bust Mondays, and he talks about that stuff like, and I'm watching these like he's showing a research study and then zooms into it, then the page swipes out, and then the transition comes in.
And then you're like learning what
it's so cool, and it's like it's his quality of the content is so much better than mine, and I'm like, that's just something to strive to. But it's like you're always thinking about how can I turn this into helping me out, in my business or my company or my game or whatever, So cool.
I like these questions.
Yeah.
What's the next one?
What is an unusual habit or absurd thing that you love?
This is good.
Yeah.
An absurd. Okay, you have to think of your answer too.
Okay. What if we try to think of each other's?
Okay. Yours? I know yours.
That was quick. Yeah.
Whenever you take a nap, you have your hands in your pants.
I do.
Every single time.
It's so all the guys.
Does it just make you comfy?
It's so comfy.
It's just both hands.
Every guy out there.
That's gonna be how you're gonna be in your coffin.
That's not.
I'm gonna tell them to put your hands in.
That's not unusual though, because I swear every person listening to this, if you're a guy, you've had a nap with your hands in your pants, and it is so comfortable.
I've never seen you nap without doing that.
It's wonderful. And I remember too, even like at
you always put a pillow on top of your head, and then your hands are just in your face.
The pillow's to block out the light, so I'm light sensitive. Like in terms of, I'm a heavy sleeper, but with light, I am not a heavy sleeper about. So like. And the hands of the pants is because it's comfortable.
So funny. No, I can think of it.
Oh, your sleeping thing is every time in the morning when you wake up, Mimi puts like, she'll be sleeping on her side, and this arm is straight up
in the air.
She'll put her hand, like for those of you who are listening, not watching, she puts her palm of her hand on her side of her temple, and her elbow is pointing straight up towards the ceiling. And she just, it like bounces up there. It's the weirdest thing.
I don't know why I used to.
Every single morning.
Remember how I used to wake up in college too? I used to wake up like this.
with her hands. One hand on her palm on her forehead, the other palm on one of her cheeks.
I don't know what it is. But it's only like in the morning time.
Yeah. Only in the morning. It is so weird. But those are just absurd things that we do when we sleep. But like, if in terms
weird
of habits,
things that we love, or they're like habits.
I'd say with Mimi, we've kind of talked about this like eating habit, but it's more of like with anything. Like if I want to show Mimi a YouTube video on my phone, a 10-second YouTube video, a very quick clip that all it's going to take is I pick up my phone, I show her 10 seconds, put it down, she will laugh. She goes, no, hold on. And she'll get up, she'll walk and fill up her water cup, come down, get the blanket all situated, sit down, get comfortable, fix her hair, come over, everything's be perfect. Put chapstick on, set the water down. Okay, I'm ready. 5 seconds down, like that was the biggest hype for nothing.
Yeah, I have to have everything perfect before I
everything
start something.
Needs to be perfect before you start anything, and it drives me insane.
It's delayed gratification. I delay everything until it's perfect timing. And then I enjoy it.
I understand that, but there's like, for that, all it is like, it's not even a YouTube video. It'd be like an Instagram, Snapchat story or something, or Instagram story.
I'm surprised you still show me stuff.
I know. All right, well, maybe we'll put a rain check on a usual habit of mine. I think I've talked about a lot of mine actually in video, so it's hard to think of a new one. But yeah, those are just kind of weird things going on. The next and last question is, oh wait, no, there's 2 more questions. What is a bad recommendation you hear in your profession?
A bad recommendation.
Yeah. So like for me, professional soccer player, everybody's like, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? But what should the aspiring kids that want to be a professional soccer player, what should they not listen to?
Oh.
What's bad advice that it's given to them that they should not listen to? So in terms of interior design.
I think there's a lot.
But I want to hear yours and your business. Or if you can't think of anything, we can just talk about soccer.
No, I think there's a lot in interior design. Even people on my Instagram, like, all people message me and they're like, what color would go best with my living room? Mm-hmm. And they want like one answer. And I think the worst recommendation is people, like if somebody actually gave them an answer. If that makes sense. Because a lot of times with design, it's like art or anything creative. It's like a lot of it's just up to interpretation or what you want. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like not everybody likes minimalism. Not everybody likes mid-century. So there's not like one answer. And everybody it's like soccer. They want like one quick fix answer.
One skill.
Yeah. Or they'll just like ask like some broad question like, what would look the best right here? And it's like, first of all, I don't know what function this room has. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much time you spend in it. I don't know what type of people are going to be in there, how much usage. Like, there's just like this huge...
So anytime there's an easy answer for something or how to design a room, that's something they should have listened to.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's just like a lot of times too, like I'll read like magazines and they're like, the 5 things everybody needs to put in their living room.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, no. Like, that. There's so many different ways to go about this. And it's like the magazines that give, like, the 5 exercises to get a 6-pack. It's like, that's not realistic. There's a lot of different ways to go about it.
Build a booty with these 5 exercises.
Yeah. So, there's just a lot of, like, just kind of quick fix advice that I think isn't true. Mm-hmm. That's why whenever I make a post or something and it is about like something that's trending or how to get this look, I always say in it, take this with a grain of salt. Like you don't have to have this pillow to make this look right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
That's just what first comes to my mind.
That's good. Yeah. And there's so many with soccer. Like
literally, people think you're a doctor.
But that's actually one thing is I think the worst, like a bad recommendation that I hear in my profession all the time is when it's from coaches or people who aren't very qualified. Even for me, I'm not a qualified doctor. I'm not a qualified physical therapist. Don't listen and put all your eggs in one basket from one source. Like so many people were like, they'll hear from their U12 coach that weightlifting will stunt their growth. And then for the rest of their life, they'll think weightlifting stunts my growth. Mm-hmm. I won't work out. And then come 18, college coaches, professional coaches are going like, look, you're really good, but you don't have a professional actual like athleticism. You know, you're slow. You're not strong. You get pushed off the ball too easy. And it's like if that kid at age 12 would have started weightlifting safely and properly, and that coach said, oh no, it's going to stunt your growth. Instead, and he went, no, come here. We'll teach you proper form. It won't stunt your growth, Mm-hmm. But I think the worst recommendation is when it's like comes from one source for anything. Like I hope that like even every single thing I say, that every single person out there double checks it on Google. They go talk to a doctor. They talk to a physical therapist. Never believe anything because it's says. Like I've even seen videos too where it's like a doctor or I see a physical therapist will be saying like, oh no, because there's like a max limit of how much protein you can have. Like a nutritionist will say it. And it's just wrong, And it's like, well, it's outdated a lot of times. And it's like even people that are highly qualified can still not know the most recent data or the most recent findings. It's like I do a lot of research, but even then I could just be kind of like the way I answer a question at Google could be wrong. So I would say the worst recommendation, it's not even the worst recommendation because there's every single thing, every facet of the game, there's bad recommendations. Well, but hold on, but everything there's bad recommendations for. So it's more on the player and on you guys to not listen to a single source. vary your answers and do your research on everything. Sorry for cutting you off.
That's what we call a Shelly rant. He loves his rants. No, I was just going to say that with nutrition, and I'm sure like with sports and lifting and stuff too, even though it's a science, like it's technically a science, it's still like an interpretation of data. Like all nutritionists are going to say something different. Yeah. Like meat's good for you, meat's bad for you, carbs are good, carbs are bad. Like even though there is science, everybody interprets it differently. Yeah. So you also have to take that into account too. Like even though they're a professional, they still have an opinion on it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Even with a leg extension machine, it's so divided.
I know every time you do that.
Half people are like, no, you should never even touch a leg extension machine. And then half the people are like, no, that's an excellent machine to isolate your quads and even to improve your patellar tendon strength. And it's like, and so another thing, like I said too, is to not just take a single source. You know, for me, I've always been about experimenting and trying out everything on my own as well. You know, I've had so many people tell us going to, start your growth. I'm like, well, it was like, would hear that, I'd be doubtful, did my research, talked to doctors, and I'm like, okay, this one guy says it will, but these 10 sources say it don't. You know, same with the leg extension. It's divided. How's it feel for me? Well, for me, I was told by my physical therapist, there are multiple physical therapists, to do it to strengthen up my patellar tendon. And for me, it doesn't hurt that at all.
Yeah.
It actually, my patellar tendonitis feels better when I am loading and doing it better.
I saw you comment that one time because someone commented, they're like, no, like that hurts your patellar tendon or whatever. And you're like, I remember you commented, you're like, well, if it hurts you, then don't do it. Yeah. But for me, it doesn't. So I'm going to keep doing it. Yeah. So it's just like...
It's kind of the same thing. It's like, there's no one piece of advice for everything. But yeah, there's bad recommendations and bad advice.
There's so many.
Everything.
There's so
everything.
many.
Yeah. Go with your gut and also do your research. All right, last question.
I like these.
In the last 5 years, what have you become better at saying no to? What new realizations or approaches helped you do that? Like help you say no?
There's one book that you let me read when we were in St. Louis. I don't know if it was The One Thing or The 4-Hour Workweek or...
I think it was The One Thing.
One of those things where it even said there, like, you need to get better at saying no. And I remember it was like towards the end. And that like totally changed my output on life. And I'm trying to think of exactly do you remember what he said exactly? Was that Tim Ferriss again?
No, it was somebody else. It was The One Thing. I don't know who wrote The One Thing, but...
I've just learned to say no to things that aren't going to help me in like my situation. And I don't mean it in terms of like hanging out with friends or anything like that, but
well, I think there's two things. Like I think what's helped me say no to people more, because I was the biggest yes man ever. I always been like about pleasing people, having, no enemies, all this stuff. And when I started becoming lead on all this stuff, I got so many requests to do so many things, And it was all stuff that wasn't going to help me at all, but it was going to help everybody else. And I would always do it. And I do think that's good to do stuff without any expectation to get anything in return. Yeah. Because I think that helps build your brand and build everything. But it gets overbearing and you get overloaded with work. And then I get to a point now where it's not just kids asking for help, because I'm all about helping kids. If a kid wants to know why he can't have pre-workout and why that might be unhealthy for him, I will go and write a couple paragraph entry for that just to help that one kid. That will take 10 minutes out of my day. But now it was almost when companies would have kept on asking, can I send you this, to show in your videos? Can you do this for their company? People, wanted more and more. It's almost to take advantage of me versus not asking for help.
You've gotten a lot better.
It was people taking advantage of me to help and promote their business when I was just going to be basically, everything was going to look bad on my part. And so I got really good at saying no when I felt like I was being taken advantage of. And it was just that realization, because I did a couple things like that, promoted brands, and I was like, okay, well, and then I got kind of trashed in the comment section, like, why are you, for whatever. I was getting negative feedback, and I'm like, I'm going out of my way to do this. I'm getting negative feedback, and nothing is going, I got to learn to say no. And then I also think I've always been pretty good with like friends to say no when it's been, I think it's good to balance your life with friends and have fun. But there's been times where you're like, no, I do have a training session tomorrow. I can't go out with my college friends, that aren't on sports teams. And I think one, Dragan Stoikov, and this is in St. Louis, he really he was so good at saying no. I remember specifically Dennis and Milan and Dennis were coming into the apartment and they asked if they wanted to go and get dinner and then go see a movie. And I had a lot of work to do. But I said, yeah, I can go. Because it's just I was like, yeah, sure. I didn't want to say no. And Dragan just goes, no. And I was like, everybody was like, what? And Dragan just goes, no. And then Dennis and Milan go, why not? Like, why don't you want to? And Dragan just goes, because I don't want to. Straight faced. And I was like,
I love it.
I was like, wow, awesome. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to go either.
You're such a follower. You were such a follower.
It was opened up I actually did end up. I think it was to go see Kong Skull Island, and I hated that movie.
Yeah, you regretted that, didn't you?
I hated that movie. Yeah, and but Dragan just goes no because he didn't want to see the movie and didn't want to go, and he's just like no. It's not that he didn't like Dennis or Milan. It was just that he didn't want to do it, and we were fine with it. It wasn't like Dragan hates us, but I kind of felt like if I said no, they would think that I hated them, you know. So I don't know. Meeting other people like that and Dragan kind of was like the moment.
I think I've always been good at saying no.
I think you have too.
Like that situation, if I didn't want to leave my house or leave my comfy bed, I wouldn't go. It wouldn't even be an option for me. I'm not a person who has to say yes. My brother's a yes man. Mm-hmm. He's always down for activities. He can never say no, and then he exhausts himself. And I'm like, no, I'd rather be comfy. I'll totally do what Dragan did all the time. But in the last year when I was working, that's when I was super busy because I worked 5 days a week, and then I had my school, and then on my one day off, I would feel bad and go help my mom at her kindergarten class or go help my dad with something. And I remember I kept texting you. I'm like, I have no time for myself. I have no time to do anything that I want to do, for my Instagram or for YouTube or anything. And then I remember you told me, or I realized it or something, that sometimes you just have to be selfish for yourself and put yourself first so that later in life, when you are successful, when you do have money, you can, treat these people and have fun. Being selfish now means that later on in life, you'll be able to do more for other people. So it's this trade-off, and I've learned how to do that better. Yeah. I don't know if that makes sense.
Remember we had that question about what surprised you?
Oh, yeah.
I thought about it when I was editing it, and it was how not careless. It was how selfless you were with that stuff.
Yeah.
Even when my Become Elite was making no money, or I was not a pro, and I was like, hey, I'm going to train. Can you help me film? Can you do this for me? Can you drive me over here? You did it all. And that was I know. Absolutely.
Even if I had a final or something, I was no, Shelly has to film this video. But that's when it can be my downfall though, because it negatively affects my life. You know?
And there were moments where I was even would think wow, she does so much for me, and then I'd be like, would I do that much? Would I sacrifice that much for her? And I'm like, I would hope so, but I don't.
When you come to a bookstore.
but that's why I've been really trying to, even with your Instagram, or if you need help photoshopping something or anything that I can help with what you need to do, I'll help you, or support it anyway.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah, but it definitely was eye-opening.
But you'll regret saying that though, because I'm so picky with everything.
That's true.
Then I feel bad again that you have to help me.
The Against All Odds podcast logo took about 25 iterations.
I kept them all just so one day we could maybe do a slideshow and just show
I deleted them all so I could get rid of that painful memory.
It was just funny too, because every time you text me, you're like, yeah, this is the one. I'm like, that's cute. He thinks that's the one. He thinks it's done, but it's not. And I was so patient with it. I was like, hey, I'll break it to him tomorrow that we're definitely changing that font. Because I didn't want to upset you.
But anyway, so that's one other thing I just want to talk about is we watched the Cristiano documentary.
Oh, yeah. By the way, it's not called CR7. I thought it was. It's called Ronaldo.
So we watched Ronaldo, and it was...
If you're a premium podcast listener, you'll know what we're talking about. We talked about it last time because I thought it kind of reminded me of your mentality. So we wanted to see what you thought.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think there was as much mentality talks as I thought there'd be, but just the thing that I got from it was just how cool it was to really see the insights into his life. And I mean, the games and the stuff that you see were all cool. And I thought that even the documentary showed a lot of the games, and it covered 10, 20 years of his career. Mm-hmm. But so much of that is stuff you already see,
Yeah.
And the stuff I really like the stuff that I was like, wow, that's cool. was like when it was the outside shot, like looking into Cristiano Ronaldo's home.
Yeah,
and
it's just
it was
all
like
glass,
it was all
at it.
Ronaldo's just like, they're cooking, just him and with Cristiano Jr. And then they're like, he's taking off his shoes, getting him ready for bed, and it's Ronaldo's voiceover, and he's just going, I spend most of my time like alone, like it's just me and him. I come home from training, I turn off the TV, we shut completely off, everything from the outside world is off, and we just make food, we play, we train. And I just like I'm finally in an environment where there's no stress, and those moments, that insight into their brains and to see what it's like outside of everything, outside of it, it was what I loved. And I thought that documentary did do a great job of showing his full career, and it had to have. But like, this is why I wish why I think vlogging. Imagine if he vlogged and like really became natural at it, or even hired somebody to vlog for him, and just like to follow him around with a camera, just like that did every single day, like that. But showed all of the.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah, but
you don't need him to do it.
I'd gain 0 subscribers. Yeah. My channel would be dead.
I thought you did a good job of showing. You made like a vlog or two a while ago about kind of like the lonely side of soccer, and I felt like that documentary kind of showed what you were talking about.
Yeah.
And you've showed it too, because even though you have 200 and whatever thousand YouTube subscribers and all these Instagram people, like even though you have all these people in your life, kind of, you can still feel like lonely at the same time. And even though you're being watched by all these people and you're in the spotlight, like you can still be lonely, which is like this weird like paradox.
Yeah, it's pretty much just, every single day is workout, train, work on something, edit something, emails, and then just hanging with you, and then whoever else, if it's your family or my family, whoever I'm with. But even then, that's like a lot of social. Most of the time when I'm actually with the team, it's just that, and so it was just that's just part of it. But it's just different. But I love that. I love those documentaries like that. And I even saw one. I've seen there's a lot of the Ibrahimovic documentary. It shows that side too, and you start to see, all these pros. It is very lonely, and it's like what Ronaldo said. It's like he's like, oh, we suffer. Like everybody sees what we have, but it's because we spent so many years suffering. He cried every single night when he was away from his family training in, I think, Sporting Lisbon.
Yeah.
Training, and he cried every single night when he was there away from his family for years, and it's just like, wow.
I know, he was saying like everybody sees like the 8 cars that I have, or like the 10 cars and the house and the whatever. They don't see the suffering side of it.
Yeah, and I love that. Like it makes it, and even just for him, and he's like the most publicized athlete ever, but like it just makes them such a real person when you show the insides of it. And that's what I really want to show with my channel. Is like, you can see my games, you can see my game footage, but I just want you to see me like as a real person, and the insights into my life.
Yeah.
And hopefully you gain something from it, whether it's a training advice, whether it's just connect with me, whether it's to connect on a similar wavelength, but whatever. But the documentary is very cool. I'd recommend it to any of you who
have US Netflix.
Who have the US Netflix, or you could probably stream it online somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, but that's about it for this podcast. I hope you guys liked it.
We never went back to that one question about the habits. Might have to touch on it next time.
Whatever. All right, peace.